What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we're going to be talking about 3 different cryptos today that I think are pretty relevant. You know, they're coins we all hear of, probably a decent amount of us hold even, and if you haven't heard of them, look into them maybe, you know, but not financial advice. None of this is financial advice. Do what you want with your money. It's not my money. You're a big boy. You're a big girl. If you lose money, it's your fault. If you make money, it's not my fault. Don't give me credit. It's you. It's all you. So Compound. John Speed, that's the first one we're talking about, is Compound. BCH, Bitcoin Cash, for Slow Key. And then finishing it all up with Shiba Inu for CCR Toy Adventure. Those are the people that requested the coins. I do request. If you have a request, leave it in the comments. I'm happy to do them and lose sleep over it. Here we are looking at Compound. Yes. Compound at $54, still doing exactly what I've been saying it would do basically for the last like 2 months now. It's just moving sideways, man. Moving sideways. We're not going to see a breakout, guys. You know, I know that, you know, we want these updates. It's nice to talk about it. I love to check in with Compound every now and then. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to complain about it, but it's just, nothing's new. Nothing's new. RSI is very neutral. Price is very neutral. We're probably going to go down. Again, I've been saying that we probably go below $50. I don't think that we'll go below $40, but we could. We could go all the way down. We could even go below $30 and still be in good shape. But again, I don't think we will. Bottom to top here, you know, your 61869 is right there below $40, and that would promote a higher low still, relatively speaking. Even if you formed a lower low, you're still in this overall area of accumulation. So you could literally go all the way down to like $27. And you're fine. You're still fine. But I really don't think, for one, I really don't think you'd go below 30. And I'm also like I'm very positive that you wouldn't. But I'm also pretty convinced that you wouldn't go below 40. If you did, it would be just barely. But I do think we'll go below 50. I don't know if we take these lows out at 44, we might, but I'm thinking we probably go somewhere between $50 and $40. That's the best guess that I have. I don't think that we're breaking out yet. I do think that whenever Compound breaks out, it's going to be phenomenal. I think this is going to be one of those things that steals the spotlight, man. It's going to be one of those coins that if you're in it now, you're going to be glad you're holding it, and then every person is going to see it like pump all the way up here, and they're going to be like, oh, maybe now I should buy it. And who are they going to buy it from? They're going to buy it from you. You're going to sell it to them. No, I'm not going to sell there. I've bought Compound. I've been layering in since $58. My lowest buy price was at $38. I've been DCAing here and there with it, and I've definitely got a sizable bag myself, but I'm not going to offload Compound until the end of the cycle because I very much do believe that there's tremendous, with a T, growth potential. The 1272 is all the way up here. That's the 1272 is a Fibonacci extension. If you don't know about the Fibonacci extension, that's okay. Just understand that these are prices. They're lines. They're not requirements. But generally speaking, price does interact with these lines to some degree of significance. This one, it's not really reacting off of any of these lines. But let me see if I can find something like relatively speaking to just show you if you're new, if you don't know about the fibs. Low to high, I mean, that doesn't really do it for me, so that's okay. But to be fair, also with any indicator, when you're moving sideways, indicators tend to be less valid. But all that to say, the idea is if and when you break your all-time high, and I very much do expect that you will, which by the way is all the way at $915. Here we are at $54. If that doesn't interest you, just you wait, because the minimum target from the current price that we're at would take you to a 46x. That's the minimum target. The maximum kind of expected target would be all the way up here at essentially what is like 160x. And I've done the math. I'm not going to do it now, but if you really want to do the math on the market cap, you can, as to what that would be. But that's absolutely an achievable market cap. I want to say it's like $60 billion. It's a very high market cap, but it's achievable. And maybe it's not. It's been a while since I've done it, but I'm not going to do it now. I don't have enough time. So, and yes, it would take a little bit of time, but I'm probably spending more time explaining it. But I do think Compound remains range bound until after the halving. So, hold on now. It could pump before the halving. It could. After the halving sounds a bit long because we're so close, man. We are so close in this range, like, to breaking out, in my opinion. I mean, it could. it could be in this range for another like 3 months or so. It's possible. So don't be discouraged if it is. A lot of cryptos are going to be going down, where this one's really going to just be holding its value, moving up and moving down. But it will break out inevitably soon. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen 3 months from now. But whenever it does break out, it's very likely got a date with this $224 price area, if not maybe even above $400 all the way up at the 786. But it's going to be phenomenal. This pent-up aggression, man, as I like to call it, is going to be taken out on all the bears who doubted it. It's going to move up phenomenally. But I do think we'd see turbulence probably around 225 to 292. But that's compound. Let's talk about Bitcoin Cash. Talk about some magic dragons here, man. Bitcoin Cash, man, we call it the dragon because, it likes to sleep. It likes to sleep on its hoard of gold that it has, right, on its treasure trove, and then takes flight like a majestic dragon in midair. And if you try to catch a dragon, what happens? You get burned, right? That's where the whole thing came from. And so special shout out to the Dragon Riders. If it doesn't make sense to you, it doesn't need to. It's okay. Same kind of thing, right? Except we've already had our breakout from our accumulation phase. Now we're just consolidating. But we are looking to make our next move up. Absolutely we are. I do think that Bitcoin Cash stands to go lower, down to this $190 to $200 area. I think that it does. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. It could go back down to this area that it's been finding support at and continue to kind of move sideways like compound, and then have its breakout relatively soon, maybe closer to the halving, maybe sometime after the halving. But I do think, nonetheless, from here, it wouldn't surprise me to see prices a little bit lower. I am personally thinking that we go to that $200 to $190 area, but I can be wrong. Been wrong before. I will be wrong again, and that's okay. But the 618 there, the golden ratio, the retracement itself is at $206. The 69 is at 197, and Bitcoin Cash loves its 69, loves its 69. This actually changed. I keep saying 200 to 190. That's because this high used to be in place, but a couple weeks ago we actually put in this high. So maybe we don't go to 200 to 290. Maybe it's 197 to 206, somewhere in that range. But I do think a little bit below these lows, it might scare some people out, shake some people out of their positions, right? And as soon as we get below it, we bottom out, and that's whenever we move back up here, and then we get ready for a breakout again. It's going to be phenomenal, right? We're going to see the continuation of this move, which the minimum target would be at $400. Maximum expected target would be at $500, and absolutely Bitcoin Cash does love its deep extension. So you can see a move that takes you all the way up to $611 or $800 in a very short amount of time. I say very short amount of time, but I would say like within the next half year. I do think that Bitcoin Cash will be worth more than this at the end of this year, but I think this initial move out, whenever we break out, because I do think that we go low first, a little bit lower first, and then we break out. I think that we'll get stopped out probably somewhere. I don't think that we'll get stopped out here. We might find temporary turbulence, but I would think that we get stopped out probably around here, if not around here, or somewhere in between is what I'm thinking. But nonetheless, down for now. Looking at the daily, it's neutral, kind of bearish. Actually, you have a high, lower high, lower high, high, higher high, higher high. That's double bearish divergence. You probably go down. See the oversold zone, and then that'll give us an area to load up, saddle our dragons up that are sleeping, and then we can go on a nice safe ride into the sky without getting burned. Because you only get burned if you chase them, man. If you're already on its back, they can't turn their neck around. I don't know, maybe they can. I've never actually seen a dragon, but that's BCH, man. If you like that one, hit that like button, subscribe to see more. We're gonna also go over Shiba real quick, Shiba Inu here on Binance. Sure. Looking at Shiba, I think it goes lower as well. I actually, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm forgetting what I said in my last video, but I think I did say it could go below this low. I wouldn't be surprised if it went below this low and found support right above this low. In a previous area that you found support down here in this consolidation range where you wicked here at 563, somewhere down there. That's your 1272 extension there. That would make sense to me, man. I think you do. I do think you go below this low. This is not a friendly shape that you have going on right now. The weekly RSI rejecting that overbought zone. Look at what happened the last time you rejected your overbought zone, right? And even look, you had a higher high. Look at that. You had a higher high. Oh, wow, you got a higher high now. And you're rejecting your overbought zone just like you did before, right? Not just like it, but pretty much, similar area. This one happened quicker. This one's happening slower, but bearish candles nonetheless. I don't know. Maybe it's not happening slower overall. This one, like, dilly-dallied is all I'm trying to say, right? It spent a few weeks up in this area, where here was just 1 week. But the move down has happened 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. 1, 2, 3 weeks, so maybe it is happening a little faster, but nonetheless, I do think you go lower than this low, probably around this low for Shiba. Yeah, the immediate term looks bad. You're in like a downtrend on the RSI. Looks good for the bears who want to scoop this up lower. I do think it goes lower. As far as all-time highs go for the cycle, I don't know if you'll see new all-time highs. I'm kind of convinced that you will, but I'm not entirely sure. You wanted me to go over. I think you wanted me to go over the burn schedule, and I don't know really anything about the burn schedule. I don't know anything about, like, let's just look here. SHIB. Does it tell us? I don't know. Let me see here. I can just type it in. Shiba Inu burn rate. Sure, yeah. Shiba Inu data reveals that an impressive blah blah were incinerated during this period. Let's see. Skyrockets. What? I actually didn't know anything about this. Hey man, if you burned a lot of tokens, that can be good. Skyrockets 2,900%. Well, what from like one? Like from what was it? Because I honestly have no clue. I want to look at it real quick. Shiba Inu on this. See if we can find it. It doesn't tell you the date, does it? This was the first one, so I would think that this is the last one up here. Is that? Wow, it's a pretty decent. It's not a lot. It's pretty decent though, actually. That would be 8.8 billion that you burned recently. Yeah. If I'm right, let's see. Let's read this. In the last 24 hours. Surprising turn of events, the burn rate of Shiba Inu tokens has witnessed an astronomical surge, reaching an astonishing blah, blah, blah. Data reveals that an impressive, 30 million. That's so impressive. So that is very impressive on a coin that has a circulating supply of 589 trillion. So impressive. 30 million. Oh, man. Let's see. The current max total supply of Shiba stands at this. Attributing the total to 400 trillion tokens burned in the initial supply. I wouldn't put too much into it, man. More. If we can get more burning, that's great. But this looks like a gotcha kind of journalism here, man, where 2,924%. Oh, but it was only 30 million off of 580. Like, if it was 58 million, that wouldn't even be half of a percent. Like, who cares? It's just a news piece. Burn more tokens. I think burning's good. I really do. I think Shiba, that's the one thing it has for it. And if it continues to burn more tokens, new all-time highs are more than achievable. Absolutely it is. But I don't think much about this. I hope at any of what I was just saying about it, nobody takes it personally. I'm not making fun of anybody. If I was making fun of anybody at all, which I know I had that tone, it was this article. That's it. It's just this article. The people writing it. The people, whoever you are, Mushamar Butt. Is this even a real person? Like, he's a butt head is what he is, man. He knows what he's doing. He's like, well, this doesn't matter, but I'm going to make it sound like it matters. That's like 30 million coins. Who cares? Like, who really cares? This sounds nice. You got a lot of people with it, right? I thought it sounded interesting. Like, oh wow, I should read this. How will price react? Probably won't react at all, man. It probably doesn't even care. Let's look at what it's doing in the last 24 hours. Oh, would you look at that? Price went down because it's a very insignificant amount. It wouldn't surprise me if price goes up. Maybe you get some reverse sell the news event kind of stuff, right? It comes up, you form a lower high, it gets some like fake hype into the market. People are like, oh, I got a FOMO in up here, and then that's just really what that is just more drive for the people, whoever it is that produced these articles to sell. But anyways, that's all I got, guys. I think they're all going down. They're all moving sideways. I think Compound and BCH stand to gain the most in the shortest amount of time. Shiba Inu probably won't start taking off until Dogecoin does, or which I think will be sometime next year. That doesn't mean that it's going to go down that whole time. It can go up within that time, but it's not going to start taking off like doing what it did in the previous cycle until next year. I made a whole video on that for Dogecoin yesterday. If you want to check it out, I would assume again that Shiba will move with Dogecoin. Okay. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe to see more. I feel like I had something I was going to say and I spaced it. So that's that. Take care. Bye bye.